Shambolic performance from the players match after match. Many managers over the years have tried to fix this mess at Manchester United. Some lasted no time at all, some won a trophy and were sacked. Others performed miracles with the squad of players, but eventually their time came to an end. What is actually going wrong at Old Trafford? Will it ever change? Well, it's about to, as we decide to take over Old Trafford and bring back the glory days back to the club again, as we attempt to win one of these again, and if we're lucky, we might even win one of these along the way. So I hear you ask, how are we going to do this? Well, the majority of this squad needs to go, as we need to get these players out of this club and start rebuilding something new. Let me welcome you to Youth to Glory. We want to bring in hungry young talent that's going to help rebuild this club to its glory days. So we'll be looking to targeting players from around the world that are under the age of 20, using an extensive scouting network, as well as using the Manchester United Academy, as they seem to have developed a few good players over the years. So we start off by assessing the potential candidates to promote to the first team in order to see who we can ship out. We then notice a potential problem. Most of our potential players are out on loan at other clubs. Think we're going to have to see if we can recall some of them, otherwise what's the point in this project at all? We then look to see how the players will fit into our setup. We're using a 4-4-2 for this, and as you can see, a lot of these players are not quite ready for the first team just yet, so we're going to have to mix it up and use some of the current first team as well. We then look to see who can potentially ship out of this club. There's certainly a lot of players in their prime which should fetch some good money to help bolster the squad and invest in the youth system. This guy is definitely going. We then notice that a few players are attracting interest from a couple of clubs, so we offer them out and see what happens. Arsenal then come back in with a ridiculous offer of £6.5 million for Victor Lindelof. As much as we're desperate for cash, that gets rejected quickly. Thankfully though, we do fare better from bids from Tottenham for Lingard, and Matic is also attracting some interest from clubs abroad. We start shifting some players out of the club, and first up is Jesse Lingard as he wraps up his deal to Tottenham, which puts some vital funds back into the kitty so we can start to look at strengthening. So with the extra funds in the transfer kitty, that's now when it gets me thinking, who are we going to look at signing? So we stick an offer in for powerful centre-back Tanguy Nzonzi from Bayern Munich. Talking about centre-backs, we've also managed to ship out Phil Jones as he's off to Levante. Another departure this time, and it's Matic, as he sealed a move to Marseille. We're currently starting to shift out some of the deadwood. West Ham come in next with a loan offer to buy McTominay. It's worth over £24 million, so that's certainly not getting turned down. We then receive bids from Real Madrid and PSG of £32 million for Captain Calamity himself. This is an instant yes, as I certainly want him out of this club. Hopefully, he doesn't mess up the negotiations and can pick between one of the two clubs. It looks like McFred will be around for a bit longer, as McTominay has turned down the loan offer from West Ham, which I'm slightly disappointed about. Pre-season kicks off well as we manage to beat an understrength Bayern Munich side 1-0 thanks to a Garnacho goal just before half-time. We capture our first signing as Nzonzi has joined us from Bayern Munich for £22.5 million. Hopefully this is the first of many. Captain Calamity's off to France as he's chosen PSG. Do they really know what they're letting themselves in for? Well, they're going to find out. New target identified as we smash in a £38.5 million bid for Inacio. Villa and Brighton come in for a loan offer for Victor Lindelof until the end of the season. It's not ideal, but we accept it. We end pre-season in emphatic form as we manage to dispatch Borussia Dortmund 4-2. We're now really struggling to get players out of the club as Lindelof opts to stay. Does he not realise we don't want him anymore? In more positive news, we've managed to get the Inacio deal over the line as he's agreed to join us. We get our Premier League campaign underway with a fine victory at home against Everton. A deep free kick in Everton's half resulted in Sancho giving us the lead with a sublime chip on 9 minutes. A long ball played out to Richarlison, who then threaded in the ball to Calvert-Lewin to level it up. Nzonzi plays the ball out from the back, finds Hugo, who slots it in, and there's mixed up in the Everton defence as McNeil slots it home. Nzonzi plays it out wide, finds Alenga, who crosses into the box, is headed home by Hugo for his first goal of the season. Finally, some movement in the transfer market as we get an offer for Edison Cavani and also offers for Diego Dalot. Cavani leaves the club in a £2.4 million deal to Lazio. Discontent amongst the players as they're unhappy with the Cavani transfer, but we relieve their fears and tell them that we're going to be bringing in some new quality players in the future. On the eve of our next game, Dalot leaves the club in a £14 million deal to Ajax. Is this going to cause more unrest in the dressing room? Carabao Cup's been drawn, and we've been drawn at home against Sutton United. Also, our Champions League group draw has been made as well. Karim Adeyemi joins us from Salzburg for £15 million. Finally, some of our players are drumming up some interest on transfer deadline day. Can we get any of them out of the club and bring in some new players? Due to our inability to ship any players out of the club, transfer deadline day was a bit of a washout. But the top deal on deadline day was Raul Jimenez's move from Wolves to Newcastle United for £55 million. So as you can see, we currently sit 4th on 6 points after 3 games. The games that you've missed so far are a 4-2 defeat at the hands of Chelsea, but then we bounce back with a 4-0 victory at home over Newcastle United. September starts off brightly with victories over West Ham and Watford in the league, a victory over Atalanta away in the Champions League, and progression to the next round of the Carabao Cup with a 2-0 victory over Sutton. Then we face our biggest challenge to date as we travel to Manchester City in the derby, which results in a fantastic away performance as we manage to defeat Manchester City 3-1. We start off with lovely build-play between Shatori and Hannibal, who finds the ball forwards for Sancho, who chips it over and outrushing Edison. We try to clear the ball, but Man City keep the pressure on, and Cancelo finds Grealish, who then finds De Bruyne, who slots it past De Gea. We win the ball back in our own half, and Sancho again plays it forward, who finds Hannibal Mabry, who puts Adeyemi in to slot it home to make it 2-1. We then wrap all 3 points up as Wan-Bissaka finds Sancho, who manages to escape Cancelo, and there's Ronaldo to smash it in to make it 3-1. After the City result, we're now sitting top of the table on 15 points. Youth seems to be working as our 3 players are the top 3 for Young Player of the Month, which finally goes to Jadon Sancho. That also being said, we've also won Manager of the Month for September. Our next 2 games was a home tie against Atletico Madrid, where it finished 2-2, and also a 1-0 victory over Spurs thanks to a Jadon Sancho goal. Progression made in the Carabao Cup with a comfortable 4-0 victory over West Ham, which sets us up with a quarter-final tie against Chelsea. But it has come at a cost. This is a biggie on the injury front. Jadon Sancho is out for 5 to 6 weeks. He's been our star player so far. Is this going to derail our season? We finished the month of October off with a delightful away victory at Leicester. From a nothing throw-in, Shatori's long ball forward is latched on by Ronaldo, whose deep cross finds Garnacho at the far post to make it 1-0. Leicester pushing for an equaliser, and we don't manage to clear our lines, and they manage to work the ball into the box and unleash a shot that goes past De Gea to make it 1-1. Deep into the closing minutes of the second half, Ronaldo bursts forwards, Fernando's ball over the top, and there's Rashford to find Hannibal to make it 2-1, and we take all 3 points. So after that victory, that wraps up now a great October, where we only dropped 2 points in the league, and that was against Southampton. There was also a victory in the Champions League against Brombury, and also a very good 5-0 defeat of Norwich in the league. We've also wrapped up another signing in the form of Brazilian wonderkid Marcos Leonardo. He's going to stay out on loan for the remainder of the season, but he'll be joining us in the summer. We finished the month of October top of the league, 1 point ahead of arch rivals Liverpool. Another key player has picked up an injury. This time it's Karim Adeyemi, as he's out for 2 months with a dislocated shoulder. We've now managed to achieve qualification for the Champions League, thanks to a 0-0 draw against Brøndby and a 2-1 away victory at Atletico Madrid, thanks to goals from Cristiano Ronaldo and Paul Pogba. We were guaranteed top spot in the group as long as we have a positive result against Atalanta. Our league form this month has been somewhat patchy and there's been a bit of mixed results. We started off well in the league though, with a 4-2 victory over Brighton at Old Trafford. We then slipped to our second defeat of the season as we went down 1-0 at Aston Villa. We then played out a 0-0 draw against fierce rivals Arsenal at Old Trafford, but finished the month off in style with a comfortable 2-0 victory over Burnley at Turf Moor. That now means we've now opened up a 3-point lead at the top of the table over fierce rivals Liverpool. There's some surprising teams propping up into this title challenge so far, especially Crystal Palace, who we face next in the league. December could be a potential banana skin and potentially derail our season. We currently have some difficult fixtures against big teams, notably also a home tie against Atalanta to try and secure top spot in the Champions League group stage. We've also got Carabao Cup quarter-final against Chelsea and games against Chelsea and Liverpool in the league. We secure top spot in the Champions League group stage after a comfortable 2-0 victory over Atalanta. That has now set us up though with a tricky away trip to Villarreal in the first round of the knockout stages of the Champions League. We've also made it through to the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup after a 5-4 victory on penalties over Chelsea. That's now set up a mouth-watering tie against Tottenham for a potential place in the final and what possibly could be our first piece of silverware here in charge at United. So our form in December has been pretty much perfect, apart from one little blip. We started off with a 1-0 victory over Crystal Palace away. We then took on Wolverhampton Wanderers at home and demolished them 5-0. Next up was title contenders Liverpool, and we managed to dispatch them 1-0. Then was Chelsea, another home fixture, this time resulted in a 3-0 victory for ourselves. Then, unfortunately, we slipped to a 2-1 shock defeat away at Brentford. We then finished the year off with a fine 1-0 narrow victory over Southampton. The midway point of the season is upon us, and we currently sit second in the league, level on points with arch rivals Liverpool, but have a cushion of 10 points above the next team below us, which is Manchester City. Will this season's form continue, and can we take it on into the new year and towards the end of the season? Who knows? What signings do we make in January? Who should we bring in? What youth prospects should we try and promote into the first team? Who do you think? Drop your suggestions in the comments below, and also don't forget to hit a like on the video and subscribe if you're also new to the channel. Join us next time for the next episode of Youth to Glory, the Manchester United Rebuild.